Hello everyone, we're going to present to you the concept of our framework, which consists on the creation of logical scripts instead of physical scripts. What I mean by this is that we do not create a large number of test cases or test scripts that require maintenance and that they take too much time to create or maintain. What we do, we create very few physical scripts, and most of the instructions are what we call a logical script. This basically allows you to reduce your maintenance and your cost when it consists in creating new scripts and new tests and so on. On the screen, you can see that we have HPALM and we're in the test lab section, and we have a particular test set that has one single test under the column test name. Okay, so as you can see, we have one single script, which is the WPF flight application. Then under the column name, we have many different test configurations, or what we call test scenarios. All these test configurations are a collection of commands and transactions and data that we use. As you can see, there are many of them, and we only have one single script in there. Okay, that's the physical script. Now we're going to go to the test plan. In the test plan, as you can see, it's basically one folder and one test. And within this test, we have multiple test configurations, each one addressing a different business rule or business requirement or functionality that needs to be validated. When we go to the test script, as you can see, we have only one single line of code. Nothing else. Everything else is behind the scenes in libraries and functions. So basically, you only get one script at all. So here, as you can see, we have several test configurations, all of them associated to only one physical test. Now we're going to move into what is basically the data that we're going to use and execute, including all the commands. So here we are going to be opening a spreadsheet, and in the spreadsheet, as you can see, each single row will represent a particular execution, a particular test scenario, or a particular test. It depends on the granularity. And we have different columns that are for internal use, and then we have columns for command and data. As you can see, we have command 1, data 1, command 2, data 2, command 3, and so on. Okay, and many of our tests, they can be different length. As you can see, some commands, test cases finish at command 7, while other test cases can go all the way to command 9. So basically, you are not limited to the length of commands that you can have on each individual test. Okay, so here you have a broad range of test cases or length of test cases that you can implement by just putting together the commands and the columns. Also, we like to show you the capability of having a traceability between what we call a test configuration or test scenario to a requirement. This basically allows you to make sure that you are addressing all the different test requirements that you need to complete in order to release your product. Now we're going back to the test lab, and as you can see, we have some different status for some tests. Some pass, some fail. There were some are identified as not run because they were not executed. So all these different scenarios exist within a test set. Now we're going to take a look at the report. We made the report easy to read so that you can actually determine what was executed, what passed, what failed. As you can see here, we have 25 iterations, and we have 2 tests that fail. But we can open a particular iteration, and we can see the different commands, step names, or transactions that were executed that are part of this iteration. And as you can see, you can determine whether they pass or fail at a glance. And if you want to drill even more, then you can see more information. For each particular step name or transaction, you can view what kind of information was created or entered in the execution of the test. If you want to drill down into the information of the error and what transaction failed, you can see here that the new flight login is the one that failed, and we have a screenshot providing more information as to what. So here, end user can determine what passed, what failed right away without having to drill for more information, which is time consuming and causes problems for debugging and so on. Now we're going to move into the area of executing a test. We're basically execute a test from ALM is going to run at HP UFT test, Unified Functional Testing, and it's going to be running an application that is a Windows Presentation Foundation application. This application basically creates an order, and we're going to be entering information to create 2 orders. Basically, we're running 2 iterations. And the script enters the information, validates totals, generates results, and so on. It completed the first iteration, and now it's executing the second iteration. The test completed successfully, and now we're going to take a look at the summary results. You can see the status, passed, change, the date change, the time change. Now we're going to go into the attachments. Here we have actually uploaded an attached file, a CSV file, that has a collection of all the test results for this test set. What I mean here is that all the test instances containing the test set, every time they are executed, they update this file. So it accumulates of the results. As you can see, it has the column for the test and the column for the test configuration. The test configuration is basically the test scenario that we needed to address, and we can have multiple iterations within a single test configuration. One of the capabilities of this is that we can actually filter on a particular test configuration to see what are the results of that particular scenario. We can filter by test, we can filter by test configuration, and so on. In this case, what we're showing you here is basically a particular test configuration that has 25 iterations. Out of those 25 iterations, 2 of them fail, and they are clearly highlighted. So here you can see the results at a glance. You can also see what step failed, the step name or the transaction, and you can see the details as to what were the errors generated by the execution or during the execution. So this gives you all this information in an easy manner to revise for either testers, business users, test leads, or test managers. So you have all the information in one single place. And this is basically how our scenario works. It basically, our framework works. It basically shows you all the different capabilities. This can be applied for UFT or Selenium or other third party. But the concept is to reduce the number of physical tests and create logical tests. My colleague Dominique will show you in another video how easy it is to create these logical scripts using our user interface application or test generation utility, and you are going to be able to empower your business users or your manual testers to create what we call the logical scripts, and then they can be executed by the test automation engine. Thank you very much and have a good day.